Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. This is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads.
And they use a big stat, and we've increased it by 400%, which is actually only $5 per day when you look at it, which is still under the average wage.
I'd like to think that this is helpful as opposed to unhelpful.
I mean, I do have a question about how good fish that have fallen out of the sky through hundreds of feet taste.
We are, as ever, brought to you by our partners Contagious, who have helped choose the ad this week. But before we get to that ad, let's meet this week's guests.
I'm Danielle. I'm a senior client lead at Automated Creative.
Hi, I'm Rory from Gymbox. I'm the brand and marketing director.
I'm David, brand lead at Wealthify.
Right. So this week, you are going to see an ad all based on the phenomena of flying fish.
Every spring, something strange happens in the district of Yoro in Honduras. It happens during rainy season, and it's happened every year for the past 100 years. Miraculously, fish fall from the sky.
Lluvia de peces en Yoro, y es que estamos en la famosa temporada de la lluvia de peces.
Scientists think waterspouts formed by funnel clouds suck up the fish and send them off. It's called lluvia de peces, the rain of fish. The humble people of Yoro call it something else. They call it a miracle.
Parece que los pececitos vienen nadando en el aire.
At Regal Springs, we call it heaven fish. Heaven Fish is a modern new enterprise based on this natural phenomenon. The hardworking people of Yoro make very little money, about $1 per day in U.S. currency. By partnering with Regal Springs, one of the largest fish wholesalers in Central America, they safely help gather, register, and authenticate the fish that fall from the sky. The fresh fish is immediately processed and shipped all over Honduras. And for the first time ever, more than 90 restaurants bought Heaven Fish, creating unique dishes to put on their menus. More than 80 public markets throughout Honduras now sell Heaven Fish directly to consumers. Through this new initiative, it's possible for the people of Yoro to increase their daily wage by 400%. Heaven Fish is a predictable, sustainable, and profitable business partnership. Regal Springs, bringing fresh fish from heaven to your table.
If you're going to give this marks out of 5, 1, 2, 3. Whoa, interesting. That is a high scorer. That is going to make it into the top 2 or 3 this year. So what is going on here? Can you help us understand the wider context?
There's a lot of stories that I've seen online about frogs and snakes. Apparently in the 16th century, there are etchings that you can find of snakes falling as rain. I think frogs, there's all sorts of other small aquatic creatures that seem to have fallen on the earth, but there's very little video evidence, I've noticed. I don't know whether the other guys have found any video evidence of this sort of phenomenon online.
I didn't actually know.
Nothing.
I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, for me, let's get right down to it, right? I shared it with the team this morning, and the team all watched it, and they were gushing in their praise. They said it was 4 or 5 out of 5. It really captured their attention. They were intrigued by the story. The branding was nice. Yeah, all good.
Is it like one day of the year these fish land, or is it like several days of the year? Is there like a truck going around with some ice? Like, help me understand, is this not complete bullshit or not?
I think also one of the things that I'm quite conflicted about is they said that the average daily wage of someone that worked in that city is $1 per day. And then they use a big stat, and we've increased it by 400%, which is actually only $5 per day when you look at it, which is still under the average wage of someone that works in Honduras. So for me, I don't know. I think there's I don't know if greenwashing is the right term in this sense, but I feel like they're probably blowing up something in terms of that they're doing something really good. And they're obviously helping, But I think they could have done more in terms of maybe putting more profits back into the community, because actually that's not a ton of money to be paying.
I looked at it up from solely looking at the brand and the advert. I haven't really looked granularly at the detail, but I found I was taken on a little bit of a journey, which I quite enjoyed. I was waiting for that kind of April Fool's moment saying, the fish falling from the sky. I thought, what's going on? But I was kind of taken in by that lovely voice, the dulcet tones of whoever the narrator was straight away. And then when I didn't get that kind of April Fool's moment, I felt myself leaning into the advert a little bit, which for me is always a good sign if I'm leaning in and wanting to find out more. I thought it was really well crafted. I thought it was really good storytelling. I take Daniel's point around greenwashing or is 400% on a dollar really a lot. But taking that aside, I thought the actual advert itself was really well done.
Also, as reading, at first they kind of rejected the idea because this town is like in the middle of Honduras, so it's not actually next to the sea, and their main diet is purely, I'm going to get this wrong, but essentially it's just made up of like beans and rice, I think, and this is the one time of the year that they get to enjoy fish, and they have like a whole community festival, and they were like, we don't know if we actually want to do this because it's actually a very special time for us, and they see it as almost like a religious occasion. And again, I don't know how I feel about monifying that situation as well. It is very nice storytelling, but I think we need to look at it in a critical sense as well, and how good it actually is for the people.
I do like the fact that they use a kind of a cultural insight and then use the real people to tell that story. And I think if you look at it on that side, I think it's well executed, well crafted. Actually, if you dig a little bit deeper, you kind of go, actually, are you just are you taking these local people, taking advantage of them for profit? And, you're not giving a lot back, but you're positioning it as, you're helping this community. And there is an element of that, but I'd like to think that this is helpful as opposed to unhelpful.
Does anyone know anything about the brand, and have they done things similarly in the past?
Yeah, I believe that they that it came out of an NGO. They've started fish farms in lakes around the world. They've got a number of different locations. From what I read very quickly, it all seems very sustainable. Because quite often you get brands doing work around purpose, which seems tangential or quite tenuous between what the brand does in terms of the product and what the purposeful element is. And here, just in terms of the value chain, it just seems, well, these fish were falling from the sky anyway. There's some villages that don't earn a lot. The fish might rot and stink in the village. We'll help people clean that up and then sell it on. I mean, I do have a question about how good fish that have fallen out of the sky through hundreds of feet taste. But I think kind of from a branding point of view, I'd never heard of Regal Springs before. I noticed them now. I understand what Danielle's saying about, does it really stand up to scrutiny around their claims of, the wage inflation? But I think it's pretty good.
It is quite a lot of money for people in this area. And actually, if you're moving from 1 to 4, it's pretty good. Look, being cynical, we're all brands at the end of the day. We're all trying to make money. We're trying to take advantage of the environment and social standings and everything else. So, you know what? Good for them. I think, they've seen an opportunity and they've taken advantage.
So you are all creative directors on this. What would you instantly do to make this better?
I like a little bit of humor. I like something that gets my attention. What I would say on this advert, I did lean in, but it could have had a little bit more meat around the bones. It was a bit straight-laced for me, and I think it just needed something a little bit more to kind of have that end hook. It just fell a little bit flat at the end. I
had a very similar thought to Rory when I first started watching it as well. I thought it was a gag. I was waiting for the punchline at the beginning. I think you just need to be up to the point, have your facts in place, get some more data points in there to make it really hit home that it is benefiting the community. And then I think it would be a nicer, tighter ad. But the visuals and everything is beautiful.
And David, how do you think that marketers that might learn from this?
The first thing was, how does it work in short form? So how do you re-edit this for people with very short attention spans?
Thumbs up or down. Would you sign off this campaign in its current form? Yes or no? 1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.